Okay guys, so monitoring price, we are going to look at determining our bias for 9:41 a.m. So if we start on a daily time frame, ignore the red lines going down the screen. That's to tell us that we will be inside of macro, and also today we do have red folder news at 10 a.m. So the cutoff point is 9:55. The daily is bullish. The 4-hour time frame was bearish and is still bearish. Okay. The 1-hour time frame. Price trades lower into a bullish gap. There's no bearish gaps to correspond above, so it is bullish. So let's get this down. Daily bullish, 4-hour bearish, 1-hour bullish, 15-minute. How's everyone doing today? Hope everyone is doing well. The 15-minute is bearish, trades lower, bullish. 5-minute. Currently, bias is already bullish. Price trades lower, takes out points of sell side. We had a shift higher in market structure on NQ, but not on ES, and there's no fair value gap on ES, so there is no trade. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. Price trades up into no bearish imbalances on the 5. Trades lower into a bullish imbalance, which is going to be resting at this area here. Trades higher, has not taken out any highs, nor on ES as well, so the 5-minute is still bullish. So we have an 80% bullish bias. We are currently looking for longs. Okay, 9:36 is going to be a point of minor sell side, likely going to form a bullish SMT on NQ for a slight minute. If any of you guys have a few questions that you want to get answered as of now, feel free to drop it inside of the chat. We didn't start with music today, we started pretty peaceful. Little slight change for you guys. If Trump starts speaking, do we exit the trade? No. If you've already entered into a position, then you stay in the position and you manage it accordingly. Okay, so what we see here is New York open low was not too substantial as of today. We have more of a New York open high, which I'm interested in. I'm not looking at the low, it's already been taken. So let's swap this for the high and put it there, because that is what I'm paying attention to, and ES doesn't have the same area. I'm going to drag this to be minor sell side. Okay, so what we see here is accumulation. So following our bullish bias, I would like to see manipulation of minor sell side, or even sell side at 403. Either one would be perfectly fine, and then we can look for longs. For price to trade slightly lower and give more range for price to draw higher without taking out any highs, shifting structure higher would be the ideal scenario. And our cutoff is 9:55. With your bias method, does price always have to be inside the fair value gap or leaving it? Yes, exactly. So it's about, has price met the draw? If it hasn't, okay, it is then still a draw. It's not inside of the gap right now. Hence, on the 4-hour time frame, we're not in the bearish gap, but the 4 hours bearish. Okay, we trade out of it, we're bearish towards the next 4-hour low or bullish gap. The next bullish gap is going to be this one. So as soon as the 4-hour trades lower, back into this bullish gap, at 43150, then the 4 hour don't be bullish. For now it is bearish, and it's bearish all the way until it meets the first bullish gap or low. Easy stuff. Very simple accumulation, and I'm going to remove these equal highs because it's an old point of buy side that's already been taken. So I'm now going to reference this high. I'll reference that on ES as well. Do most futures accounts use floating drawdown, or is my funded futures an exception? When you say floating drawdown, you mean as in being inside of the position and trailing amongst profit? That would be Apex. There's two types of drawdown which all prop firms use. Majority of prop firms use end of day trailing, and then some prop firms use trailing drawdown, as in being in a position. Just check the rules when you purchase the account. Okay, so with our bullish bias, price is already drawn out of the accumulation period and manipulated for buy side. Buy side swept, does it invalidate bullish bias for longs? No. So it doesn't invalidate our bias at all. Our bias currently stands as what it is. So the 5 minute was bullish, it took the high, so it's neutral or bearish. Price trades up as of now into a 5 minute bearish gap, so the 5 minute shifts to be being bearish. 15 minute. 15 minute takes the high, it's now neutral, trades into the bearish gaps, now bearish. So our bias is now bearish. It doesn't invalidate longs from taking a high, it just means that we do not have it correlated with bias. Okay, so with a bearish bias we look for a sweeper buy side, with a bullish bias we look for a sweeper sell side. We had a bullish bias, we didn't see a sweeper sell side, and the bias played out towards the high. 1 hour time frame. We're not trading inside of any bearish, and we haven't taken any sort of high. Hourly remains bullish. 4 hour time frame still bearish, and we can relook at that in 11 minutes time for the 4 hour close. If the 4 hour inverses the bearish gap 10 AM, that'll be a bullish confluence and a draw. Daily still bullish. So that's the set of results that we have. It's currently bearish. So we're looking for shorts to target sell side. Milo, there was a nice long yesterday during the PM session. I know we don't trade it, but it did look clean. Okay. Do we trade before news? Yes, we do. We trade 5 minutes before news, and that's our cutoff point, 9:55. We won't take any positions between 10 AM red folder and 9:55. People trade different models, people trade different macros, down to my personal preference and the years that I've been trading this model and for what I've simplified it down to, these are the macros that I trade. So there's no point even discussing something outside of these 3 macros that I monitor. Alright, Damon sent a photo, so let me, why didn't we take this trade? Well, the first issue, Damon, that you're having is that you're only monitoring NQ. It would be good to pull up the other asset. So right now we are inside of the cutoff point between now and red folder news. So we're going to be waiting for after 10 AM in 4.5 minutes. And then at 10 AM as well, we're going to mark out the data highs and lows if it is standing, and also reevaluate our bias. Yeah, Damon, so if you click on your TradingView chart and click this area here, layout setup, and split your screen into 2. If you don't have the premium TradingView version, I advise you do get it. It might not let you split into 2. And then have ESZ25 on the right and NQ on the left, and then you'll be able to look at both assets. Because if you head into the checklist part of this Discord, you won't be able to monitor both assets and understand if a position is valid if you're only looking at one asset NQ. We have to monitor both. Just join this community. Want to use these signals to pass my 50k. Should I use 20 contracts throughout, or should I go easy on the risk? Oh dear, Peter. I don't know what advice you've received before, but 20 contracts is absolutely out of this world. I mean, that's what I use on my live account with a smaller stop placement. So for a 50k funded with a 2k drawdown, brother, that is really out of this world. Well, Peter, let's start here, okay? What prop firm and what size account? Obviously a 50k. What prop firm are you working with? And I can guide you on how to pass that account the fastest way possible. FTMO 50k. Okay, so you want to be trading that normally. You don't want to be full porting it. With your FTMO account, you have a 10% drawdown. I would be risking... What's your target on a 50k FTMO? I always advise to start with a futures prop firm before you go with FTMO. That's more or less your 4th or 5th prop firm after scaling through. What's your target? $5,000 profit is your target. $5,000 loss. Yeah. Okay. I would be risking $600 per trade. Risk $600 per trade because you've got a 10% drawdown, $5,000 drawdown. Okay, so you're already essentially on the scaling plan already. You got 5k drawdown, not 2k. So yeah, risk 600 per trade. Go to the risk management funded section in this Discord and double the contract sizes throughout the sheet. You'll be risking 600 per trade. You'll look to pass that account within 4 weeks, whether that's phase 1 or phase 2. Yep, so we're getting obviously more of a stronger bearish bias as price continues to trade higher. I seen yesterday, shortly after our stream, that Bitcoin dipped below 100k, so it went into about 99.5. I was getting close to sending a notification to you guys that we'd be going break even, just not quite yet. When you have the market, which goes in cycles of having obviously a very much bullish 1 to 2 year span, and then it goes into a bearish retracement to unfill bullish higher time frame imbalances. This doesn't occur over the space of a day or 2 days. Okay, so when we see Bitcoin go from 115 in the space of a couple weeks to 100, this is not fear. No one's fearful in Bitcoin. Okay, the fear has not set in. Okay, so I seen a tweet yesterday by the one and only Dodgy, and he stated that buying Bitcoin at 98,000 is a buying opportunity. No. Fear is not set into retail or into the market at all for Bitcoin to retrace back to 98,000, nor has any liquidity or majority of liquidity has not been swept by 98,000. I'm going break even at 98. When Bitcoin retraces back into the 70s and the 60s and potentially the 50s, the 50s, 60s is more of a rare case, and that'll be an extreme for 50k Bitcoin. But during the 70s, when a lot of fear would be set into price, altcoins would be down around 60, some around 80%, more of the very low cap coins. That's when we'll be buying. That's when I will close out my position. Alright, so we are after 10 AM news. We have a set of data highs. So the 4 hour got inversed at 10 AM, so the 4 hour is bullish until this next bearish imbalance and high. Currently sat with a bullish bias. So this indicator right here, probably wondering why I have it. When you're doing bias, and if for example I'm on the 5 minute and to the left, it's harder to see where the bearish imbalances are without wasting time, you can just switch it on and it will show you the majority, not all of them, but also the ones that haven't been inversed as well. And I can see clearly whereabouts the imbalances, the ones I should be paying attention to are. It doesn't notify all of them, but majority. Should we see the short-term high get swept? Well, we don't actually know, do we? Whether it'll get swept or not. But considering the bias is bullish and we've seen a failed shift lower in market structure, the likely scenario is that it does draw back to the high. It's obviously a bearish order block, so acting as a bearish point for price, and then if it gets inversed, it's then a bullish point for price, would be a mitigation because we didn't take the low as of now. Yes, takes the high, so bearish SMT on NQ. NQ will still likely take the high anyway. My Bitcoin short was about $400 from closing half my position, and now it's up 5k. See, brother, that is exactly what we do. Yeah, continue to hold it, and you can move your stops to break even on your Bitcoin short once we take around 98,000. So you'll see on the daily. That we are seeking this first area for price. It's around 98.2. ETF launch October, halving April, big accumulation, liquidation, this low, discount. This is where the fear will set in during a bear market. You have to give these positions time, and you can't actually expect them to play out over the space of a week. That'll be a very, very fearful moment in the market if it did. So whether Bitcoin wants to return back to this area, which many times and more times than not it does, it will return all the way back to 109, and then it will continue. So it will take out, buy stops exactly like it did before. Trades out of the daily bearish gap, trades back higher, puts people into the perspective of a bull market, and that's going to go back to the high. It just took buy stops. That's all it was. Trades into the daily bearish gap, boom, takes out liquidity. This is our first area of interest. Simple stuff. Will the 1004 candle be an order block candle? Yes. So it's currently acting as a bullish point for price. It is a bullish order block, currently being respected. We took the high, so if it closes below and inverses it, then it will be a breaker block. Milo, had the model not presented just then with a mitigation block on NQ at 10:03? Okay, so at 10:03, what bearish fair value gap do you see, and what bias have you got as of that point as well? Where is the shift in market structure? And oh dear is my answer to that one. You're jumping, same as yesterday I spoke about this, you're jumping too far into the rest of the model without getting your first two steps. Bias and liquidity They must correlate, and then you're on step number 3, and you sit on step number 3 until you get that shift. And then when you have a shift in market structure, what's the next step? You look for a gap on both NQ and ES. As price is shifting, I'm looking at order blocks. Shifting through and inversing what order blocks? Okay, so we're seeing an inverse of a bullish or a bearish PDRA in a long or short scenario. We're seeing a gap on both NQ and ES, which verifies a sufficient shift in market structure. If price is going to shift and not create a gap, it's a failed shift. Hence why I said that we're going to draw back to data highs. Failed shift lower. Bias was bullish. It's just a lower time frame retracement to take out sell stops, trail back to the high. Oh dear. Wait. You're talking about longs? Oh no, I'm confused. So yes, bearish order block, a shift likely higher in market structure. This is data highs. I mean, this is a sweep of buy side. Jams knows better than this. Jams, you must be playing games, brother. We're currently outside of macro. We're going to be waiting for the second AM macro at 10:45. It's okay, because sometimes, you know, people will get confused, and not everyone inside of this group is on the same level as each other. There is a very big difference between people inside of this group. Boy, Jams, there's a really clean model right now for shorts. Outside of macro, no shift, no gap, no order block, no breaker block, no mitigation block. You got a pretty clean setup there. You got the laptop, the monitors. Maybe the people in the background should start on some evals and some funded accounts, or even a live account, and start making some money as well, because I don't know what he's doing in the background. Is that someone standing up inside of macro? Why is he standing up? He needs to be focused. He looks quite concerned. He's looking at his chart, and I think he might have blown some... Looks as if I zoom in on his face, I think he just lost his Apex accounts. It's unfortunate. Yesterday, Keswick took a trade. I mean, let's not focus on other people. We never, ever have to focus on what other people are doing. I couldn't care less, right? This is what is going to bring yourself down as a growing and aspiring trader, person, and businessman. Focusing on other people gets you nowhere. You are the only person, okay, who is going to bring yourself up to the level that you want to be at. And the peers and people that you see on social media, you don't know them, and the people that are either your friends, they are not where you want to be, okay? So the vision that you have for yourself, you just put the steps out in front of you, you take those steps, you follow it, you don't trade outside the model, and you shall achieve. The short yesterday inside of the second day of macro, we was close to taking it. Bias ended up shifting to being bullish, and then we also had a entry on ES. ES tapped the gap, no entry on NQ. That would be an entry for myself, but the bias shifted bullish 30 seconds prior to the entry, hence why we didn't take the trade. How many positions, for those of you that have been in the group since we opened 3-4 weeks ago, or even from last year, how many positions have you seen get absolutely run through, which other ICT traders have taken, and we've continued to avoid these losing trades at all-time highs? I've seen countless people close October in a loss. We closed out in a 7R profit. 7R. Milo, do you believe in one trade once a month? I mean, we're not talking about the Bible here. We're talking about we monitor price inside the macro. It's not what we believe in, it's what happens. If there is an opportunity that is valid right now, I'm taking it. Sometimes there is months where I take 10 or 11 trades, and it'll be more of a action-based month where I take a lot of positions. But if price action doesn't give me anything that meets my requirements, meets the model that you guys have seen me execute time and time again, then I won't take a position. So, regardless if I have one losing trade that month, one winning trade, or I have 15 winning trades that month, it's whatever price action presents. Just like, for example, say last week, or the week before on the Thursday, okay, we hadn't really taken that many trades that whole week. Okay, I think we was currently break even on the week. Thursday, inside of the last macro in the last 5 minutes, we had an opportunity present. We took it and we hit a 2.4R. So it's all about opportunity, and when it's presented, we're taking it, following the correct risk. So there's a lot of traders that will potentially post on social media, and they will say that you don't need a bias to trade inside of that session. Well, if you don't understand where you're driving when you leave your house, you're not going to have any destination. So why would you approach price with the same mindset? You are taking a position not knowing where price is likely to draw during that session. You don't know if price action is currently in a bearish or a bullish scenario. So your model lining up with a bullish or a bearish scenario is going to be more high probability than a model that presents as a pattern-based model with no idea and draws on liquidity. Okay? It's like hopping out of a trench, like, seen Sean Who What When, and then running the other way and not running against what is shooting you. Because you didn't do your eyesight analysis to see your enemies. What type of trader is that? I tried your sauna method yesterday where you pass out and wake up feeling refreshed. Absolutely, bro. That's what I'm saying. I did the sauna today. I hit it for 17 minutes at 95 degrees Celsius. And then straight after the sauna, you don't actually, like passing out, brother. I don't know if you actually passed out, but passing out's not part of the process. I think you might have went a little bit too far. But yeah, you get to the point when your legs and your hands start tingling a little bit, and then you get out when you can't bear it anymore, and you go into either a really, really cold shower, an ice bucket, ice bath, or you go into just a cold pool, whatever you got. Yeah, I don't think, I mean, passing out is, you went to another level there, brother. You see Scene just getting dragged out of the sauna. Oh dear. September and October were rough on a lot of ICT traders. Been seeing a lot of guys I follow taking record L's. Well, yeah, exactly. You know, and we took record, well, not record, just an average month, you know, 7R. And I didn't trade September. I was with my family, and I traded August and closed out 12 to 14R. You know, I've done that all year. Year after year after year after year. Taking this minor buy side will flip the 5-minute bearish. Yeah, I have tried that. I do that all the time. So yeah, I go in the sauna and then jump into a freezing cold pool, and then I do go back in the sauna, because when you're really cold, I'll warm up again, and then I have a cold shower, and then I leave. That's pretty much the process. Your patience and discipline is on a next level when it comes to trading the model. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, it really does come after quite a few years of experience. Well, let me ask you guys this question then. What other groups have you guys been in and found absolutely no success from? Put some names in the chat. I mean, what groups have you guys, or ICT traders, do they run other groups? You found no success. So you found no success from TGR's blueprint. I've heard that from many people, and I've brought them all to a payout. Andre, I mean, never heard of him in my life. Alex G. Yeah, so what, that was just waste of time. Yarimi University. Really, is that bad, is it? FaZe SMC. Like, what is this? Is this like FaZe Clan? You know, this is not 2018 Fortnite days. Swaggy C. I mean, if someone's got a name of Swaggy C, you really should reconsider your decisions. Andre Diaz. Never heard of him. Dodgy. Lewis. Noah Trades. Casper Smart Trading Blueprint. What do you think, Casper SMC? Do you think his... I don't really know too much about him, to be honest. I don't really pay attention to other people on social media. PB Trading. I think the way PB Trading, the way they monitor price, I don't think it's too bad, and I'd have to hear it from you guys because I've never been inside of a group. Raja Banks. I was in Kazakh's Discord when he went on that losing streak. Me and Keswick, we do not trade the same at all. Yeah, we trade similar, but you know, no hate on Keswick at all, but I definitely prefer the way you trade. I got 3 accounts. Tori, is that female who wears the glasses and the long hair? I don't really like that. Yeah, I don't like her at all. I think she's very weird. I think Milo sticks to the model more. Well, it's not more. I only stick to the model. The trendline trader. Oh dear. It's a very bad space, you know. It's not good at all. Yeah, that's the got burnt with these videos on YouTube saying you don't need daily bias for the silver bullet. Yes, so you know that was mostly produced by Casper SMC. I did see it come up. No daily bias. He always talks about that, and it really doesn't make sense at all. Yeah, I'd never link up with any of these people, to be honest. Urimi and what's the other? Daniel FX and Sal Forex, Sal Sanchez, whatever his name is. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not interested at all. Yeah, I linked up with KDS, and that's the only person I've ever linked up with. Alex G? No, I have no interest to meet Alex. There is this one, you guys will probably know him just from me calling him fat. He's a trader from the UK and he sits there wearing a Chelsea t-shirt and he says, I'm in on this one, guys. What's that guy's name? Oh dear. Yeah, you know that one. He's definitely up there with one of the worst in the space. When you started trading, Milo, were you also a victim of scams in dark trading space? Yeah, I think I was. Yeah, I joined a few different groups. I think I purchased Q Bank's course at the start. Paid with crypto. I didn't even read it. Didn't even use it at all. I think it was the worst thing and the worst decision that I ever made. What else? I must have spoke with Lambo Rao's team at the start as well. because I wasn't really that educated at the time. When I was first starting off, I was around 14 to going into 15 years old. So I couldn't afford to be with Lambo Rao. They was probably asking for like $2,000-3,000. At the time, I only had around $500 to $800 to my name at 14, 15 years old. I ended up putting that into a Bitcoin position, which then flipped it into 3.5, a Bitcoin long at 9.5 in 2020. So when I was first starting off, I was watching a lot of YouTube videos based on trading and the ones that came up at the top, and it really led me nowhere, and I was just spinning around for years, and I was really just putting it to the side. I always knew the crypto space very well, and I was learning about it a lot, but as far as trading on intraday and even though macros were a thing, I came across ICT in mid to late of 2021, and that was through Andrew Tate's. One of the chat rooms led me to ICT's channel, and that's when I started watching the early 2022, but I started with the Market Maker series, and I watched the Market Maker many times, and then I seen him posting the new videos of the 2022, and I started applying the 2022 model from there. So Ether, the answer to your question there with the bias, my bias right now is not updated until a minute and 30-second time, because we do our bias at 10:40, 5 minutes before the macro for a specific result, and we keep the 5 and 15 updated throughout macro. Well, there's no need to watch the 2022 mentorship. I've put that inside of multiple 15-minute videos on my channel with everything you need, so you don't have to find the model for yourself. Who else thought they would get rich with trading signals? I mean, if you follow the correct process, now 95% of the groups that you'll join which offer fast-paced signals are really going to lead you to losing your account. And being inside of this group and monitoring my live streams and also learning, getting educated at the same time, and answering questions that also help many other people inside of this Discord is definitely which helps a lot of the new people come up to being more experienced with the others. And each quarter, each month, we close out in the profit, and if you're on an eval, you then funded, and then from funded to payouts, and the proof is all over the place. I don't even need to speak about that. And this is not signals, but at the same time you can just copy my positions. But you guys are getting, hence why I don't have a signals channel in the Discord. I don't post a signal. But you guys hear me with my audio, and you also see the positions that I do take on my screen. And month to month, you will very easily trade your funded accounts, you will grow your funded accounts, your live account, and you will see the progress as time passes. And you will achieve a $20,000 trade consistently, or a $10,000 loss, accumulative across all of your funded and your live account, which is just on the scaling plan, was actually in the prop firm section of this Discord, to 20,000 per trade. That is the bare minimum requirement for you guys, 20,000 per trade, and then you can get up to 50 and 100 with time. Hence why a lot of people on social media say you can make this, but they don't. This is the absolute purest form of guidance that you guys need to achieve that, and you will achieve that. Many of you guys already have. You're not even focused on 20k per trade anymore. Okay. So we're currently standing with a neutral bias. So as of now, guys, there is no position to look for here. I know we have a shift lower market structure on NQ and ES, a gap on both, an inverse bullish order block, and an SMT, but this is not a model that we are looking to take, as it consists with a neutral bias. So we don't have a clear direction on price. So we shall be waiting for a valid opportunity. So yeah, I mean, if I ever keep my mic muted at any points, guys, it's because my mic is muted. I am monitoring price, I am just here behind the screen. Okay, so far inside of the second layer macro, what we've seen so far is the opportunity that potentially some ICT traders seen it as a short. This one here obviously ended up getting stopped out, so that's avoidable. Whether you trailed stops the high from taking a low, you would get stopped out of that position. So this position was a neutral bias, hence why we didn't take this trade. So as of now, we are just waiting for a bias to form. With a neutral bias, you wait for a bias to form. Price will give you a bias as it continues to trade. So as of now, inside of this macro, as you guys have seen, is very non-algorithmic price action. Because of our neutral bias, what has price done? It's neutral. So we're waiting for it to trade out of this accumulation, manipulate either below a point of sell side. Accumulation manipulation would occur below this low or this high. To take this low would form likely a bullish bias, and to draw higher up around this area would form a bearish bias. So we need one or the other to occur and price to exit out of this accumulation period. So no one in the second AM has made any sort of money regardless. Okay, so that has concluded obviously the second AM on how it's gone so far. Alright, yes guys, hope everyone is doing well for the lunch macro. We're going to get into our bias now at 11:40. Lewis said one more winning day for a 1.7k payout. Lovely stuff. There's many people actually, as of now, currently one winning day away from their next payout. We have one person, one winning day from a 25k payout, a 1.7k payout, another one around a 2.5. So let's start with the 5 minute. So the 5 minutes currently bullish. So it was bullish as of this candle here, not previous candle. 5 trades higher, bullish. Neutral from there, 15 minute. 15 minute neutral, 1 hour bearish, 4 hour. 4 hour draw on a yes is buy side, still bullish on the daily. Yeah, whilst I'm in Dubai, obviously I'm flying Dubai in a day on the Friday, and I was deciding whether I should get a bike or a car whilst I'm there. And if I was to get a car, I was deciding what car. If I get a bike, I'm going to get the R1, only for 4 days, because you got to think about it, guys. Dubai's traffic takes quite a while, so taking the R1 is more fun and easier to get around, you know. I can just leave the bike in places where you just can't leave a car in Dubai, you know, so. And also at the same time, I don't want to be looking like an influencer if I post a car on my story in Dubai, so I'm not really too fussed. I would likely get a bike. What do you guys think? It's also hot in Dubai, yeah. So it's not too hot right now, you know, we're in November, so it's a very nice heat in Dubai at the moment. This is the Dubai technical summer, but winter, you know. Did my mum believe me when I started trading? Well, she believed that I did start taking positions. Yeah, she already knew because I shown her some of the positions. In fact, the first trade I took, I did actually tell my mum to take the same trade, which she did. So we both made money on that first position I took. It was the Bitcoin position, of course. Futures wasn't around in my mind back then, so crypto was obviously the first thing. We both bought crypto July 2020, Bitcoin at the same time, and we both put the same amount of money in. I went all in, she just obviously put the same amount in, and we both made the same amount. And essentially after that, a few years go by and I'm trading ICT. When I took my first payout, I shown them the withdrawal, and they didn't quite really believe at the time whether it was going to sustain over a longer period of time. They was happy that obviously I got paid out 10k, but they said we kind of need to see this over the longer span. Let's see if you can do this over quarter to quarter. So that was my main focus as of that point, which led me to blowing the accounts. And then obviously I got my things together after around 4 months, so it took some time. Your mum asked if the money that you got paid was real. I'm pretty sure it was quite real when you sent her that money, right? Yeah. When she seen it hit her UK bank account, it was quite a realisation then, wasn't it, brother? They're from a different era. So the income that they would see from us is not something they've seen before. But in fact, my dad was the one who put me on to trading in the first place, or gave me some sort of insight. He wasn't profitable by any means. There was many opportunities that he could capitalize from, but he just didn't have enough money to capitalize from all of the opportunities that we spoke about when I was very young of age, around 13. There was countless opportunities, countless, but neither of us had enough money to capitalize from any of it. That's what gave me the kind of insight to really research more about the market. And that's why I stumbled across a lot of people like Anton Krail, and also the bold fella, potentially from the UK, I believe. He died, David Poole. You know, a lot of people. I really started to look into it. So yeah, David Poole, Larry Williams, David Poole, not Larry Williams. No, David Poole. I listened to mostly, before ICT was David Poole and Anton Krail. That's all I listened to, and then I found ICT. Would it be better to just save and buy a rental apartment in full cash, or get a loan? Always aim to leverage your money with real estate and get a loan. Okay. And in Dubai, as a non-resident, you'll be looking at a 40% down payment with no golden visa if you're buying a place that's already built. And if you do an off-plan project, you can put down around 12-24%. Some plans will offer 5% if they're on a later plan like 2030, 1% per month. So many opportunities for you. Before you get into an off-plan project and pay monthly, you need to ensure that you're consistently closing each month and taking payouts over a 6-month basis at minimum before you start to lock yourself in with financial matters. That is an absolute guarantee that you must have for yourself. You don't want to liquidate yourself halfway down the map of you paying towards an apartment. I've currently got 3 units in Dubai, 2 units in Miami. And the goal in Dubai is another 17 units. And after speaking with my brother James, you know, from Dubai, currently guiding him through, and he's a one-to-one student of mine, he put me on the villas. So I'm currently looking in the villas. I'm going to take a look Friday when I head down to, there he is. I head down to Dubai on Friday, and I'm actually going to, you know, look at a few sites and villas and areas and get familiar with it. And then, you know, potentially by the end of this year, we will look at a few deals. Am I still going Japan? At some point, yeah, 100%. Yes, brother, of course. I usually hit this gym in Dubai, the more influencer gym. It's full of red equipment. You must know the one that I'm talking about. It is a decent gym, to be honest. I do like that one. I think so, yeah. It might be, yeah, I think it is, yeah. It's about $150 a month, if that kind of narrows it down. It's a bodybuilder gym, yeah. It's got a fight. It's got a ring inside of it as well. It's got a fighting section. Yeah. That's the gym. It's also got a restaurant in there. I quite like that one. I've seen there's a new gym in Dubai though. I don't really know whether it's something that appeals to me. It's a new one. Mike Thurston reviewed it. They play no music and there's no women. I don't know how that gym is. Maybe it's is it called Oxygen? What do you think about that Oxygen gym? Do you like it? Is that better than the other one? It's a good one, yeah. I'm sure they have the best equipment and they have some very good facilities. I'm gonna check it out. Is it a bit out of the way? Yeah, I've seen they built it almost on sand. You know, it must be pretty far out of Dubai if it's not much going on around it. Obviously, they've gone for a more of a cheaper setup. They didn't want to be too central. Alright, let's look at the 5. Why is the 5 down as bearish? The 5 only goes bearish from 806. 806 is when things start to shift, also on the 15 at 823. You see, so far with our bullish bias, regardless if you're looking for shorts, what has been the price action for today? Our bias, okay? So always look at the bigger picture of that. You could have looked for a short, another short, but these are not valid. Price action continues to be bullish following our bias. This is why it's so important to line the model following our bias as well. Yeah, January for the gym, yeah, it's not the best month, is it? Yeah. Would I ever be down to do some climbing? Well, what we gonna be climbing? The Burj Khalifa? Whereabouts? I think it's a good idea. Mount Everest. Yeah, I won't be doing that. I'm not going to participate in that though. I'll be honest. I risk my life enough in many parts of my life, so I'm not going to push it too far. You guys won't see me anymore. You just see him frozen. The frozen statue of Nasdaq on the Everest stuck to my forehead. I think I'm alright. Imagine falling down one of those crevices when you're climbing the Everest. You just get stuck down there and die. It's mad. I can't bear, you know, temperatures when they go below around 20 degrees Celsius. Let alone climbing the Everest, you know. That would probably finish me off. You know when you watch the documentary of the Everest people who climbed the mountain and you see, oh, this is the stationary point, you know, this is where Thingy died in 2010. This will be the 2025 Nasdaq traders checkpoint where they have a coffee and then continue their climb, you know, so that's not going to be me. 14 peaks, yeah. Well, it's been a slow start to November, of course. We haven't taken any positions yet. But I don't see anyone who's made money this month so far, and we're currently at a $0 balance. No loss, no win, okay? Anyone took a short today, they didn't make any money. Anyone who was to take a long, it wouldn't be inside of macro and it wouldn't have given you a fill or an entry either way. Your friend made money yesterday. I believe he lost money the day before. But it's not something that I pay attention to be honest. By the end of the year, our P&L will surpass every single group on social media, and I guarantee it. Absolutely guarantee it. We've only been out for 3 weeks and we've already closed up 7R for October. We have to screenshot that, put it in the chat. Oh yes. Is this the refined model of yours? You think it's complete, or do you think it will change for 2026 as well? Well, I do my yearly reviews year upon year, and it has changed every single year. I've added and removed different things. We will see as we go into 2026. of all of the trades I've taken this year and if there's any averages with my losses. But from the previous 3 years of data, I believe nothing will change. This is the model and this is the final. All down on one checklist. There's nothing else to refine. The early point of 2024, around March time, when I completely went over all of my trades of the past year and a half, the model had been refined completely. So there is no other probabilities or possibilities that I can look at to refine the model anymore. It cannot really be improved as of that standpoint. SMTES question mark? Well, you're just jumping the gun really. We're still waiting for bias. We have a sweeper buy side and we're looking for shorts, but our bias is bullish, so price action still in the probability of likely continuing higher. So there's no point as of now looking for an SMT. Do you remember what model was when you first started? Yeah, I used to trade just the 2022, so I looked for my bias on the 4 hour to daily time frame and understood on the daily and the 4 hour where that next daily and 4 hour was likely to draw. That would be my bias for the day, and then I'd look for a sweep of liquidity to pair with the bias. That's always been the way, but I've simplified and made my bias a lot more exact. Okay, so I would usually look for a sweep of London highs or lows, Asia, or point of buy side or sell side following a 4 hour / daily draw. And then I'd look for a shift in market structure on NQ, a fair value gap, and that would likely be my entry. A breaker block, mitigation block wasn't really essential when I was first starting off, and also a fair value gap on both assets wasn't always essential. I would take trades when there was a gap on NQ but not on ES. So over the years I used to take partials as well and look for bigger risk to rewards, but based off a probability standpoint and what is the most profitable and to cut losses, I've really narrowed it down over the years. What was my win rate like back then? It was around, I would say 35 to 45%, but I was trading more or less a higher risk reward, so it was around a 45 to 50% win rate back then. So the risk reward that I was looking for was around a 4 or 5 to 1 risk reward, but I'd take a partial at a 1 to 1 and then look for a 2.5 or a 2 to 1 as my second TP, and realistically ending up with around a 1.8 or a 2.2 risk to reward. So the win rate, it was still profitable, but it wasn't nowhere near how profitable it is now. Am I averaging less trades per year? Absolutely. Did higher RR? No, it didn't. No, we never. 3 out of the 15 trades that we would take per month on the previous model would hit the final TP. So that puts it at a very low percentage rate of final TP. This model's win rate, yeah, 58%, yes. And it is based off a smack bang 2 to 1 risk to reward. We never go lower. There'll be points that we do close out for a 1.5, 1.8 if ES takes the objective. Also positions like the previous week when we closed out for a 2.4 hour profit. So it really is averaged at 2 to 1. If you can't do basic maths, a 2 to 1 risk to reward is out of 3, okay, as a fraction. So 3 out of 100 gives you 33% as a break-even point. Not 2, which is 50%, that's a 1 to 1. 3 to 1 as a multiple of 4, break-even's 20%. So that's basic maths, that. If you trade a 4 to 1, your break-even's 20%. No. One sec. That's 25%. It's 25%. 20%'s a 5 to 1. You will never see someone post on YouTube my model with a 35% win rate. No one will watch it. I happily post on YouTube and state a 58% win rate. I don't care if people don't watch my videos. People claim 5 to 1 risk to reward with a 60% win rate. Nah. Nah, no way. There is no chance. No chance. What was your return for February this year? I'll have to look at my TradeZella. I'll have to take a look. Thursday, NFP, yes, exactly. So Thursday is a no trade day, with NFP being the next day. We don't trade Thursdays prior to NFP. We will be trading on Friday, which will be NFP Friday. Bullish 5, bullish 15, bullish hourly from the inverse, bullish 4 hour, bullish daily. It's 100% bullish bias. What is my current P&L on the year? Someone put a figure in the chat and see who can get the closest. I've got a very close estimate. I previously added it up a couple weeks ago, actually. 725, 500, not quite. 10 million, absolutely not. I didn't make 10 million. I didn't make that much. 2.1, a little bit closer. 1.2, well, that's the closest. 1.3, dead on. 1.3, dead on. Absolutely dead on. No, I didn't. Some of you guys are overestimating how much I make. 5 million, not quite there yet. No. 5 million, I would be buying a Jesco. This year I bought a Cullinan and 3 apartments. Next year we'll be looking at getting it up to 2.5, 2 million. But year on year, we've seen growth. 2024, I did around a total of around 750, 700 this year. Average percentage gain per month? Well, it depends. If I was risking 1% of my account, then my average percentage gain per month would be around 5 to 6%. But I don't risk 1% per account. I risk and base how much on my average per month is a 5 to 6R on the month. That's my average over the course of the whole year. So 5 to 6R. So if you risk 1%, it would be 5 to 6% average per month. Yeah, in August I took around 180k-ish payout, and I'll be due to take a payout actually tonight if I get around to doing it. I'm going to take a withdrawal from my live account and also a withdrawal of FTMO and TopStep as well, and potentially Apex. This is from the month of October. It was 190k month. Dom, how much did you make last month? I've been completely outdone. How much did he make? Oh yes, brother. No, 190 is not my record high. My record was April of this year. ChatGPT response. April this year, but it didn't get paid out. I didn't get paid out. That was when Apex removed me. Yeah, I never got paid out from that. During April is when I had 20 of the 300k accounts, and I never received my payout, which is fine. That was a 300k month. Yeah. How big was that payout? It's gone over my head now. The Apex payout, if I remember, was around just over 200k payout. I had a TopStep payout around 50k, which landed. Not the Apex one though. And a live account withdrawal. That was it. Back then, I was only trading with around 3 pot firms: Apex, TopStep, FTMO, live account. Time I only started moving to other prop firms once Apex removed me there. How much was I risking on the 300k Apex accounts? I was running a 7.5k buffer on each 300k Apex account, and I was risking on average around 1.2k per trade. $1.2 to 1.5k risk per trade on the Apex accounts back then. I don't run the 300k accounts anymore. I've got 20, 50k accounts, but it's not under my name, unfortunately. Alright guys, so this wraps up the session for today. There wasn't any positions for us to take. I hope you guys have enjoyed this stream. And for those of you that are new, just remember this business is not about rushing through towards the end of the year, trying to get funded by the same day or taking a payout, especially when you're funded. You don't really want to be rushing, absolutely not, the process to a payout, as it will send you back to square one. So take it slow, you will be paid out. October would have paid you on the spot. All of the previous months would have paid you on the spot. You just need to sit. It's the start of November. It's only been 3 days. We haven't taken any positions during November yet. So tomorrow is a non-tradable day. It is Thursday, the day before NFP, so we won't be taking any positions and we won't look to monitor price during AM session. So we will be monitoring price on the Friday, but tomorrow we are not going to be monitoring price. Alright, perfect guys. Well, I'll speak to you shortly. Hope everyone has a great rest of their evening. Take it easy.